Is your budget tight this Christmas season and you're looking for some budget-friendly ways to make heartfelt, inexpensive, yet gifts that people would want? Well, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Leslie and welcome to Happy Tuesday, where we do crafts and DIY and home decor and more. Today I have for you 6 amazing projects that you can either make to gift or to sell, and people will love them. Now don't forget to stick around until the very end, and not only will I have a hint on next week's projects, but I'm also going to give you my top 10 craft room must-haves. So if people are asking for your Christmas wish list, you'll know exactly what you'll need. So let's get crafting. Here is a quick sneak peek into all 6 of today's projects. I am in love with these, and many of these are already gifted or will be gifted this holiday season. And that brings us to project number 1. This wood round is so amazing. So I buy these at Home Depot, and I'm going to have it linked below where you can get them at Home Depot and what the size is. And I like to sand them down with a 60 grit first, and then go to a 240 grit, make sure it has a really nice sand on it. And then I went ahead and stained it with a walnut stain. Now I grabbed 3 kinds of ribbons and I cut them all about the same-ish length and dovetailed all the endings, and then brought them together in a nice little bow there. Now I forgot to film when I was finishing up the bow, but I wrapped it with a piece of wire and then took a piece of that last bow and made a little piece that goes around the front of the bow to finish it out. Then I took this pool colored chalk paint after I took my painter's tape and made kind of a line design here, and I am painting inside that area. Once you've got a nice good coat of that and you've picked out all your brush hairs, then you can pull your tape and set that aside to dry. Now I am going to have a piece that I've cut out on my CRICUT vinyl and go ahead and stick it on there. Every family has a story. Welcome to ours. And then I'm going to take some of this rope from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to cut a length of it, and then I will tape around that edge so that it doesn't continue to fray. And then I'm going to use my handy dandy little pink electric staple gun, and we are going to staple that down to the back of this round. I have made lots and lots of these that I have gifted a couple of years ago. This was a, got to turn it on. This was a gift that I gave to my in-laws and some friends and my kids, and everybody got one that year. And so I'm going to have some examples of those, and after it's all done, you want to go back in and spray it with some polyacrylic, so it's good to be either indoors or outdoors. And here's some different examples of ones that I have made over the years. And the cool thing is you can either personalize these to people's favorite colors and personal things about their family. Like this, it's got an initial on it. You can, do different colors, or you can make them very generic to be sold. Like this one, welcome with a dog paw. You would hit those dog-friendly people, or welcome to our home. But you can make them for any season, any situation, and I know several of my family members have them hanging years later still. So I just think it is an amazing craft that everyone will love. What do you guys think? And that will bring us to project number 2. I hope my daughter isn't watching. This is a picture that I took of her and her dad when we were in Hawaii this past summer. And we are going to take one of these Dollar Tree frames with the heart on it. And once we've got that heart taken out, then we're going to use that as kind of a pattern, if you will, so that we can cut out the picture to make sure that it fits inside of that frame. Now, luckily for me, the frame is just a little bit bigger than that little heart stencil pattern we used. And so even though my picture didn't go all the way to the edges, that part will be hidden behind the frame. But these Dollar Tree frames are really good wood, and I think this is going to make an excellent project. So once we've gotten the pictures cut out so that we know that they'll fit in there, I am going to cut out the saying from a father to a daughter, and I did it on my phone, set it up in my CRICUT design space. Now I will have this linked in my design space, and it's already sized for this frame. I will also have links to the little sayings that I've got on all the wood rounds that I've already shown you. So those will also be linked from my CRICUT design space. Now, once you've gotten this cut out, because we are using it as a stencil, you will take out the inside parts and leave the outside parts. So once we've gotten that all printed out, we are going to take our handy dandy little weeding tool, and we are going to pick out all the letters, making sure to leave the inner parts of the O's and any E's, and we're going to go through this whole thing and essentially backward weed it. And then we are going to take that and put it on some transfer tape. I am actually using the clear contact paper from the Dollar Tree, and set that down. You want to make sure that you get it really good and secured. Don't forget to make sure all your little E and O parts move from the transfer onto your wood piece, which is what I'm doing here now. Otherwise it leaves or it fills in the gap where it shouldn't be filled in if you don't make sure that those stay. And once we've gotten that all done, we are going to grab our torch paste. And we are going to use the little spatula, again, making sure that everything is stuck really well, because you don't want that torch paste getting out from underneath and then making a mess. And that's the beautiful part about using vinyl as a stencil is, you know, it's stuck down to your project, and so it helps to keep that bleeding from occurring. So we are just going to use just a teeny bit of torch paste, and I actually bought this container of torch paste, I want to say 2 years ago, and I use it quite a bit, but a little goes a very long way, and so you don't need much of it. We're going to go ahead and just get everything filled in really nicely, and then go back through and pull up any extra, because we won't need that, and we can put that back in our container, make sure all the spaces are good and done. And then we're going to let that sit for just about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll pull our stencil off, and we're going to go in with our little weeding tool, and we are going to pick out all those little E's and O's, and make sure we're not spreading our torch paste anywhere that we don't want it to go. Although you can go back in a little bit, say a nail file or, you know, a little sanding paper, and sand off little edges that aren't too terribly bad. We are going to use our big handy dandy heat gun here. This is 1500 watt, and I've heard people say that you can use, you know, a lesser watt heat gun to do this. It just takes a lot longer, and you can see I'm holding it really close, so it is actually not only burning out the words, but it is giving a little burned appearance around the saying. I have to pull that picture out. We don't want to melt it. That heat gun does get very hot, so you want to make sure that you're very careful with it. And here we're going to come in with a little bit of nail file and make sure that any little edges that got to where they didn't need to be are cleaned up. And then I started going in with a little bit of mineral oil, and when it was all said and done, I didn't really like it. So I went back with some antique wax, and I put antique wax over top of the torch paste, and in just a moment I will show you how it came out. And I just think this is adorable, and I'm so excited to give this to our daughter for Christmas. If you wanted to sell these, you could always just make the sayings on them and then sell them for somebody else to put their picture in. And to give it as a heartfelt gift was a $1.25 frame and a 21-cent photo. By the way, I did seal this with polyacrylic. I just wanted to pop in here real quick and tell you how much I appreciate you, whether this is your first visit or you're a regular subscriber, and y'all know who you are. I am so grateful that you choose to spend time crafting with me. Now, if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Give today's video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Now, let's get back to crafting. And that brings us to project number 3. I love this so much, and I made these a few years ago for Christmas presents as well. So we are going to take 2 of the handles from the Dollar Tree, some torch paste. I printed out a saying on some vinyl using my CRICUT, but you could use any stencil that you want. And because this is a stencil, I am going to weed it backwards, meaning I'm going to take out all the letters and leave all the bits you would normally take out. I've already sanded this down using the 60 grit, then the 180 or 240 grit, and I went ahead and stained it. And now we are going to transfer this stencil on here with some transfer tape. I like to use the Dollar Tree clear contact paper, but before we set it for certain, we want to go ahead and make sure that our handles are going to be in the right place and that everything fits correctly and you measured right. I will have this linked in the comments below in the event that you would like to use this same stencil. And then we're going to grab our torch paste. Now this will be the first time that I have ever put torch paste over something that I've already stained. And so I was really excited to see how this was going to turn out. So again, you just need a really thin layer of torch paste, and you're going to put it everywhere that the stencil is allowing you to. And then we'll let that sit for 2 or 3 minutes before we go ahead and pull it off and then take out all the tiny bits. Be careful when you pull it off. You don't want to get any of that torch paste anywhere else on this project, because unlike before, you won't really be able to sand off the places where your torch paste ends up that it shouldn't be, since you've already stained the project. So we are going to go ahead and be real careful with that and get them all off, and then grab our handy dandy heat gun, and we are just going to go to town. Now I'm holding it pretty close, but because it's already stained, we shouldn't really be able to see any burn marks. You just don't want to hold it in one place terribly long, or you will burn the wood more than just where you put the torch paste. But you can see this is going pretty quickly. It is coming out, and I am really excited that this is working. Once I've gotten that all wood burned, then I'm going to run over it real quickly and real easily with a little paper towel, because if you get the torch paste too thick in a certain little area, it will kind of bubble up a burn. And I am going to seal this with a polyacrylic so that it can be food safe and used not only as maybe a centerpiece to, hold your napkins and salts and peppers and stuff like that, but you could also use it as a charcuterie board or a serving board. Once I've got that all done, we are going to go ahead and just measure off to make sure that we get our handles even across there, and make sure that they are in exactly the same place on either side. Once we've got that done, I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to mark where those go so that I can measure that space and make sure that I drill the holes in the proper place. So we are going to grab our handy dandy drill and we are going to go ahead and drill that. And if you can see, I've already done the polyacrylic on that front side. I did not polyacrylic the back side. Now, in hindsight, I wished I would have countersunk these screws before I stuck them in, but instead I'm going to grab these little, I guess they're felt feet that you can buy at the Dollar Tree, and I put 4 big ones along the sides to cover up the screws, and then 4 smaller on the other side so that it still sets perfectly level on the table. And I love this, and it will be a Christmas gift I give away this year. What do you guys think? I didn't already tell you I'm going to link that wood round from Home Depot below, and that brings us to project number 4. This could not be any simpler, but it would make a great teacher gift, or one of those gifts that you just want to have on hand for maybe the mailman or something. I bought these Ferrero Rochers at Dollar Tree. They're in the $5 section, and that's the cheapest I could find them, and that will make 2 of these little wreaths. So you're going to grab some of this clear plastic wrap from the Dollar Tree and cut a length of it so that you can fit 6 of your Ferrero Rochers in there. You're going to go ahead and fold it over and tape that section so that it is closed. Then we are going to grab some ribbon. You could use ribbon or twine or baker's twine or whatever you want to put in between each Ferrero Rocher. So you'll tie that off in a knot, and I'll come back and trim those off later. But you're going to do it in between each one and then at the end as well. Now, if you didn't want to do 2 ties on the end and then another tie on the end, you could just wait and do the ends and just do a single tie, if that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and finish tying off the other side. Now I like to start in the middle, and that way you have, an easy way to be able to gauge where everything's going to go from there. So you can see I just kind of knot that up right next to the Ferrero Rocher, push the next one down, make sure they're all facing in the same direction, and then knot off the last one. When you're all done, you will have a little bit of excess left on the end, and so you want to trim that off and then bring both of your ends together to finish that last part off. So I'm going to go ahead and trim all my pieces of ribbon off, and then I'm going to grab one more piece of this ribbon and tie off the top. I'm actually using a different ribbon that coordinates or matches with, and I am going to use that to hold my little tag. I bought this too from Stamp at, I want to say it was Hobby Lobby on clearance. I think I paid like 50 cents for it. So I'm going to stamp my little note card to and from. Then I'm going to add just a little snowflake on there and make a shoestring bow. And then I will take my scissors and angle off the edges, and that is all there is to this project. Super simple and cute. It could be a gift topper if you didn't want to just give it as itself, but I think it's cute all by itself. And that brings us to project number 5. Now this project I originally started putting together, it was going to be for Christmas, and then I ended up making it as a Christmas project. So I took this glass block that I bought from Michael's, and I took some rubbing alcohol and rubbed that all the way around to get rid of any grease fingerprints or anything like that. And then I'm going to put painter's tape over the hole. Now I then took this outside, and here I am measuring to see how big that the photo needs to be to put on here. But I took it outside and I sprayed it with some frosted glass spray by Rust-Oleum. And the picture I printed out on, it's essentially a clear sticker paper. So I printed that on my printer, and then I cut the square out for how much I needed on here on my CRICUT with the sticker setting. And then I put in some twinkle lights, some fairy lights, and I just think it looks so adorable. This is a picture actually for my son and daughter-in-law that I will give them for Christmas. And next I'm going to make a little bow to go on the top, and I did not glue the ribbon around it to the glass block. I only glued the ribbon around it to itself so that if the fairy lights need to be changed out, then it could easily be accessed inside there. So here I am putting my little bow together, and then I'm going to dovetail my little ends and stick that on here, and it will be complete. You can see the vinyl sticker paper up there on the right. It's transparent, and I bought that on Amazon. I will put a link down in the bottom to where you can find that. If you wanted to use this as Christmas decor, you could just use a Christmas photo. And here it is unlit. The glass block I bought at Michael's, and I'll have that linked below, and you can get a really good price on that if you use their little coupons. And here it is lit. I love this so much, and it's super simple. And that brings us to our final project, project number 6. These are gingerbread soaps. So we are going to be using some goat milk soap base. We're going to be using a few spices from your kitchen, cinnamon, nutmeg, and vanilla. And then I bought this little gingerbread, it's a candy mold actually, at Michael's last year on their clearance, and paid I think 98 cents or $1.98, something like that. So we're going to go ahead and take our soap out of the container. This is a 2-pound container, and we only need half of it. So you only need 1 pound of the soap base. Now you can use any kind of soap base you want. I will have the goat milk soap base down, linked below. You can also buy it, at any craft store. For this recipe, you're only going to need 1 pound, and this comes in a 2-pound package. Most of the soap base that I found came in a 2-pound package. And we're going to cut it up into small little bits, and I have a glass container that I use for melting, only for crafts. So I threw that in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes, and it was fully melted. To your melted soap base, you are going to add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of ground ginger, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we are going to mix that up really good. I started mixing with the spoon, and the spoon was leaving lots of clumps, and we don't want any clumps in this. So then I grabbed a milk frother little mixer thingy, and that worked much better. I have a little battery operated one I just use for crafting. So we're going to go ahead and mix that together and get all the lumps out, and then I stirred it up to kind of decrease some of that frothiness before I poured it into the mold. If you don't, then the top of your little gingerbread form there will be kind of frothy and bubbly instead of smooth. Not that it really matters, because it's going to be flipped over and people are going to be looking at the other side anyway. But we'll go ahead and pour this into the mold. Now this 1 pound mixture made 27 of these little gingerbread. So, even if you put 4 or 5 in a package, that gives you a lot of gifts that you can give away. And like the earlier one, this would make a cute maybe attachment to a gift, or a cute little gift for a teacher gift, something like that. So I am going to use this clear plastic roll that I already had, so that I'm, using what I have on hand, just like I'm using those brown paper strands because I have that color on hand, and I was trying to do this as inexpensively as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this plastic and then throw in a few of those shreds and then add 3 little gingerbreads on it and tie it up and put a little bow on it, and that's all there is to this. Now you can kind of do this part any kind of way you want. You can fold it over like a present, or in this case I took some baker's twine and I tied each end up kind of like a candy and then put a bow on it. So you can do this, you know, any kind of way you want. If I hadn't had this clear plastic already, I probably would have gotten those clear plastic bags. I think that would have been easier. Or you could even put this in, you know, those burlap little gift bags they have at the Dollar Tree, or you could put it in one of the boxes they have at the Dollar Tree. I mean, your opportunities are endless for, you know, how you want to package this as a gift. But for this purpose here, I just used that plastic wrap that I already had, and then just made a little shoestring bow to put on it and angled off my ends, and I just taped that bow to the top of the plastic. And that's all there is to this project. Simple and easy and really pretty inexpensive. The soap base, I want to say, cost me $20, maybe not even, $17. And, you know, I mean, you can make over 50 pieces of soap with this, using this particular mold. But I just think they are so adorable. Look how cute those little gingerbreads are. Since you stayed all the way to the end, here is your bonus feature number 1. Hello friends, and welcome to my top 10 craft room must-have list. Whether you are giving your Christmas list to your family members or whether you're going to take advantage of those Black Friday sales for yourself, here is my top 10 list. Coming in at number 10 is the photo storage box. Now I love to use this to store all my little craft pieces. I think I have 4 or 5 of these, whether it's your little wooden pieces or whether it's your little miniature pieces or buttons or beads or any of those small kinds of items. It keeps them all in one place. And I don't know about you, but when I cleaned out my craft room last year, I think I must have had 8 packages of those little mini apples that you can buy from Dollar Tree, and they were everywhere, in this little bin and that little bin, and having them all in that photo storage is such a cool time saver. I know they are on Michael's Black Friday list, and they are way cheap compared to the $42 normal price. And I think even if you bought them on Amazon right now, they're still in the $25 price range. But I think on Michael's they come in maybe around $15. Now, coming in at number 9 is my CRICUT Easy Press Mini. Now, whether you use the CRICUT brand or whether you use another miniature iron, a miniature iron is a great thing to have in your craft room for clearing out those wrinkles on your fabric projects, or if you like to use that fabric glue like I do, it makes it hold really well. So, CRICUT Mini Press. Coming in at number 8 is my hand sander. Now this particular hand sander, obviously you can see it's well used. It is small and easy to use in my garage. And as I'm making a mess with it all over myself, the pads are easy to change. Now I bought this one at Harbor Freight. I will have that linked below, as well as one from Amazon, just in case. But those are always a good item to have in your craft room. Now coming in at number 7 is a heat gun. Now I actually use 2 different kinds of heat guns. So my big heavy duty, this is I believe a 1500 watt dual heat gun, so it does the really hot or the little bit less hot. This is great, especially when you're using torch paste or you're using any kind of wood burning like that. Now I use this little one, which I got on Temu, but I'll link one from Amazon down below. And very similar to a blow dryer if you don't want to invest in a heat press or in a heat gun. A blow dryer works just as well, but when you're working on those projects and you need something dry right now so you can move along instead of waiting on it to dry, heat gun is a great tool. Now, coming in at number 6 is my CRICUT Joy. I love this and use it so often. I was able to find a sale and stack it with other sales, and I got this for $50. So keep an eye out for those different sales. And, you know, when you just want to pop out something so that you can have your own verbiage or your own stencil or whatnot, CRICUT Joy is a great item to have. Coming in at number 5 are paint markers. Now, I believe these paint markers I bought at Hobby Lobby. These other paint markers I got on Amazon. So whatever brand you use, and I'll have some linked below, paint markers are amazing to have in your craft room. Now, coming in at number 4 is my miter shears. And I love these. I use them almost every day in my crafting room. This particular box came with 2 replacement blades, which I've already used them, but it is a very handy item to have in your craft room. To cut all those little miniature pieces of wood or plastic. Very handy to have. Now, coming in at number 3 are my miter box and miter saw. And you guys know, if you've watched me for any time at all, I am using this constantly for all those little projects that the miter shears are just not quite the right size to be using for those wood projects. If you need something to handle something just a little bit bigger and you don't want to get out the power tools. And speaking of power tools, coming in at number 2 are my pink power tools. And in this dual set, I got my drill and electric screwdriver, and it is battery operated. And so you just pop that in there and you're ready to go. And then it also comes with, if you buy the dual pack in the case, it comes with this electric electric nail gun and stapler. And so it just has a small little brad nail, so if you just need something to hold something little, or a staple gun, this is the best investment right here. And coming in at number 1, something I use every single day on almost every single project, and that is my little desk vacuum. I love this so much. It is the best thing I've ever had in my craft room, and by far the thing I use, like I said, every single day on almost every single project. And so there you have it, my top 10 list. I will have everything linked below in the description box. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me comments. Finally, let's take a quick run through of all of today's projects. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, or which one you might like to create, or maybe more than one you'd like to create to give away as gifts this year. There are 2 other things that I would love for you to leave me comments on down below. One would be, what kinds of things do you make to give away as gifts? And the second thing would be, what kinds of things do you guys want to see after Christmas? I am starting my after Christmas list and would love input. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really did enjoy our time together. Now, since you stuck around till the very end, here's your hint on one of next week's projects. You're going to need one of these little pie tins from the Dollar Tree and some white rickrack. Wonder if you could tell what we're going to be making. But until then, make it a great day and Happy Tuesday!